The gaming culture is no stranger to trash talking. Servers are constantly filled with people who just want to talk a massive game, and most of the time, they do have something to show for it. Most of the time, they are guys who have a bit of skill on their side to say, here, you are shit, I am awesome, bow before me. But instead, and very, very often at the same time, you're going to deal with people who, quite frankly, have a big mouth and nothing else. You will see consistently on games like Call of Duty guys who are going absolutely batshit crazy, saying numerous insults, things about your mother because that's still cool, and quite frankly, especially when you get with the young ones, using the N-word like it's a fucking crutch. And what do they have to show for it? They're 3-8. Sure, their team's winning, but they're 3-8. They're not doing anything. It's a constant problem that I find with online servers, where you will get people who consistently love to talk shit, even though they're really not doing anything themselves. I'm a big NHL gamer, and you've probably noticed that with my NHL 14 rant, where I have a lot of complaints about a lot of things that go on when it comes to cheating, glitching, and just overall action. And you get guys who will constantly use. Now, for those who don't know, there is the left bumper for Xbox players. I'm assuming L1 on PlayStation, because I haven't played that in a while, where it basically makes you do. It's supposed to be a shot block. What it ends up doing when it's done in succession, and it's always after the whistle, usually. Sometimes people even do this in the middle of play, is when they're up and feel like they need to be a bunch of douches, they will constantly tap it so it looks like this. And it looks really stupid. It's like their way of teabagging in Halo. That's another thing that is an issue with people who love to talk a big game. Most of the time, I find this will happen with people who really aren't doing anything. And a very common thing in NHL 14 on my behalf is that people who really do this often are guys when they're not even scoring, when it's the artificial intelligence that have actually scored the goals. We actually had a game last night where they only won 1-0, and they decided to do this in the entire game and even send messages saying, "Oh yeah, you guys are shit." When the stats were in our favor, the shots were 21-9. We destroyed them in that. Hits, they only did more, but barely, by about 4 hits. I think it was like 17-13, something to that extent. Time on attack was about even, around 5 minutes apiece. Face-offs, we completely destroyed them, 17-7. And they had a crap ton of penalties to go with it. But because the AI scored the only goal in that game, they feel like that's, it's warranted to talk a big game, to insult any other players for relatively no reason, and expect that you're not going to go with that unjustly. I simply messaged them back saying, "Okay, what are you hiding from? You guys didn't do anything. You sat on your asses most of the game and decided that it'd be a good idea to, do your little left bumper thing. And quite frankly, the only thing you guys did was allow your AI to take a shot that probably shouldn't have gone in the first place." And then that just goes back to the "you mad, bro" kind of thing, which is also immature. Let's get this straight, okay? I'm no stranger to trash talk. I do it myself, but usually when I do it, and I do stress usually, I can be hypocritical too. I do it when I've had a good game, and I usually do it only amongst friends, because it's not really fun to ruin somebody else's day just because they might be having an off day and you had a really good game. But when you get people who decide that it's funny to do the exact same thing even though they haven't done anything to show for it, it's kind of insulting to my intelligence. It's insulting everybody else's intelligence. You're having a shit game too. You have nothing to say for it. And again, when it comes to trash talking, quite frankly, you need to be fair about it. And you need to just, when you decide to waste your time on insults, petty insults, you're wasting your own time, let alone everybody else's on the servers. It's one thing that maybe your life is shit outside of your Xbox or your PlayStation. That doesn't mean you get to take that on anybody else. And that certainly doesn't mean you get to go around going, "nigga, nigga, 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 nigga." Like, it's fucking... It's so immature, and it's so ridiculous. And if you think that's funny, I don't really want to be around you, because your sense of humor is a little off. And I'm using that word loosely, and I'm also being pretty nice about it. If you really think trash talking's fun, you're not wrong. It is. It's fun when it's in a fun, playful manner. If you're saying, "Ha! Gotcha there! Next time try better." Again, I know that sounds lame. You can rephrase that as however you want. You can go, "Ha! I kicked your ass on that one." That kind of thing. It's another thing to go, oh man, you're sucking a bag of dicks right now, lol. You know, when you get that frat boy fucking attitude to you, you look nothing more than just an absolute idiotic moron who has no morals and has, quite frankly, nothing to offer into real life. You are nothing but a waste of oxygen. You know, it's one thing to trash talk, it's another thing to ruin somebody else's day by a couple of petty words. When you want to go out there and insult somebody because they either are new to the game, quite frankly, just maybe not good at it because it's just not their type of thing, or quite frankly, they're having a bad day. If you want to ruin somebody's day, fuck off. Get the fuck off the game, get the fuck off our servers, and get a life. You can say whatever you want. Oh, well, you're making a big fuss about it. You should be the one getting a life. I don't need one. I'm happy with how things are. And I certainly don't need to waste my time making everybody else's day shit because my life is in the shitter too.